reminder to mute the enemy team when they show up. And in this game, AUI said, Quinn, why you ban 50-year-old coach heroes? AUI calling out the fact that he's actually had enough impact to warrant getting bans in the drafting phase.
Why?
30 seconds to battle.
Why did they ban his heroes?
I don't know, but he's ending up on an Ancient Apparition, which is something a little bit different.
He has been spamming 3 heroes in pubs, Enchantress, Enigma, and Ancient Apparition. So if you're going to ban the others, he's going to pick up the 3rd here. It's just a comfort zone for AUI. And also a hero I think has been a little underrated in terms of his shard is really good. It changes this hero a lot because you can stack the freezes. You just get frozen in Cold Feet forever. It's an instant proc off the ult. So suddenly this hero's kind of like stunning for himself in weird ways in the fights. It's really nice. If you get to that point, this hero feels way better than before, especially since they added the damage to Ice Vortex kind of on the base without needing that shard.
I mean, if it was that good, though, why didn't anybody pick it up against Morphling when Morphling was terrorizing the scene? I know a lot of people actually were asking that question on social media. They were like, I mean, Morphling's so good. The natural counter is Ancient Apparition. Why is this hero not being seen anywhere?
He really sucks versus Zoo, and his laning is a little underwhelming, so a lot of times you fall behind, you don't get the ult up, and then it's very easy to miss this ult in the fight unless you want to pick really reliable stunners on your cores, which, I mean, some of the best are like Faceless Void, the Beastmaster, things like Kunkka, and some of those, yeah, they get picked a little bit, but you don't always want those heroes guaranteed. It also helps to have a carry with a stun on the lane to synergize with him, which, you know, traditionally like Wraith King and
First Blood,
Snake non-meta.
snags that one and gets a big hit onto Dyrachyo immediately afterwards. Tundra starting off very well again.
I think they would have preferred that First Blood on the Visage, but they'll take it on the Rubik here, and this Rubik has been performing incredibly well on the main stage. This is a hero that's causing a lot of people's problems, especially with their off-lane hero pools, and some of these mid-heroes like the Timber that gets flexed around. Timber, Snap, for example, both heroes, you don't want to give away these spells to the Rubik, and the Rubik just turns around and puts him even stronger. His lane also seems to be going up. Like, this is a lane you're playing for Sundyne, and you're kind of winning it in the early stages.
Yeah.
That just feels really damn good, because now you're going to be able to steal Tombstone at a certain point as well. I do expect this lane to maybe get a little harder over time as the Drow and Undying power up, particularly with this Tombstone threat. So that First Blood will be nice for Tundra here. See if they can get into like this mid-game where their lineup thrives, I think. I don't know if they're going to be able to create the same pressure on the Timbersaw like they did game 1. I don't think their roam capability is nearly the same, especially with the fact that Gaming, in theory, are going to exert a lot more pressure on the side lanes than they did in that game 1.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to leave this Faceless Void in a Beastmaster Lion lane, and pretty hard to leave the Visage in a 1v2 at all. So I don't think Tundra can bring their supports to mid pretty much at all in the first like 5 or 6 minutes for sure.
Which is kind of scary given the impact that Quinn had despite dying 3 times in the early game.
That is true.
So if he's going to have a much freer game, well, it'll be interesting to see what kind of impact he gets out of this Timbersaw.
Yeah, that's why I feel like I favor Gaming like more this game than last game, and they somehow pulled that game out of a hat, so they've got to be favored here going into game 2. Yeah. Just very strong laning setup. They should pull basically free farm on all 3 cores here. I don't think there's much Tundra can do to stop it. They kind of just need to get the levels on their own heroes. Like, hey, Rubik, you really just want the ults up as fast as possible, which means anywhere you can find the kills, you're going to be happy with it. And Quinn probably looking for a repeat performance without all the deaths. The double-double, not the triple-double.
Yes.
It is not often that Quinn pulls out the triple-double, but felt like that was what was necessary to win that game. You got to do it.
He intentionally pulled out that 3rd stat line on deaths because it was needed. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you know?
That's a true sacrificial.
Double-digit kills, double-digit assists, and double-digit complaining about the runes. And that's Quinn's triple-double.
I see.
He'll get a ring early on here, and he should be cruising now. I'm a bit worried for 9 in this game compared to last time, too, because he also had pretty much the dream start, and it still just kind of wasn't there in the team fights, right? So this is going to be a way slower start for him overall. You're not going to get that. Remember, they got a 7-minute tower, tier 1 mid, in that game as well, if the Enchantress roam.
Yeah.
Nothing like that is going to happen here, right? Gaming tower.
Super fast diffusal blade in that game,
right.
And at some point in time, the game slowed down. He wasn't able to get the same kind of impact he was early.
So I feel like a lot of these factors are just going to be slower for Tundra, which means they're going to have to play crisper in the team fights and kick it up a notch, particularly with AUI on this Ancient Apparition. I expect great things from you, son.
And you said you need big disables. He's got 2 pretty good persisting disables. If 9 can have an okay game, he gets the shard. You can chain off your own Rolling Thunder to make sure these Ice Blasts land. You've got Chronosphere, obviously, which is going to be the big combination here. And that will be effective against the Timbersaw later on. So maybe it is going to help the fact that they can't gank him early. Well, that's okay. We've got answers for him later on.
Yeah, and that is something they can play for sure. Like, okay, we're not going to be able to shut him down, but is Quinn going to be able to do as much with the network he's going to get out of this game as compared to last time? Which they were able to shut him down in the lane. Here it's going to be the team fights. That is a powerful hero, especially if Tundra can hold their map. That's the other big question here. Like, what does the tempo out of Ace look like this game with the Beastmaster? He's going to go Helm build as well. These towers start falling for Tundra. This is not a lineup that is going to get back out on the map that easily. Early rotation into mid. Maybe looking for a cheeky kill here with a blood grenade. Ooh,
the blood grenade might be the difference here. Quinn is going to be locked in by the cold feet, but he is getting the reactive armor back, and he's going to live. It's going to be the Pangolier who's going to be in trouble here as Tofu tries to get a couple last swings on him, and that one is not good enough. He had a Fairy Fire. He's got 2 stick charges as well to work with, so this is also not going to be enough. But the blood grenade, he gets a refill of the bottle, and he's going to be able to out-heal the blood grenade that was going to kill him otherwise.
Is this good for him, though, overall? That's the question I ask.
Not if he can't even make it back to lane. He's going to get another swashbuckle out of the dangerous situation. Tofu almost catching him a second time. A refill bottle, though, that'll help.
And he doesn't miss much XP here, so that is a vital refill. Lucky to get out of there alive off a gank that was optimistic. As Timber is tanky with 2 points reactive and the ring. Just way too hard to bring down.
He has Rolling Thunder if he wants to try. No. Arcane Rune going to be taken by Salary, so Power Rune going to be negated for both sides, basically.
And remember, every time these supports go mid in this game, I feel like Gaimin are favored on the 2 side lanes. The Beast and Drow are just going to get great soul XP and pull ahead. You can see here, the timing's a little faster for Quinn, even though the bottle refills are even.
That's probably my favorite part about this stat line. Ally bottle refills, because it is such a crucial part of the laning phase, and a crucial part of being able to bounce back off of, say you die in the side lane, right? Well, that gives you an opportunity to go mid, refill the bottle, so maybe you lose the side lane, but you win mid as a result. Rotation's gonna be catching too many disables. Skeeter does manage to get off the time walk. The Tombstone zombies are still chasing after him. Unfortunately, Tower Aggro is gonna be able to collect that. Dyrachyo, he's gonna be caught on the other side, so it's going to be the carry of Gaimin Gladiators who dies, and the Faceless Void who lives.
Nice turnaround for Tundra. It's just the pressure's going to ramp up here, man. I'm looking at the net worth on these gaming cores. They are really going to push it in. You have a Faceless Void who's building Midas here and a greedy support duo. There's just not much interaction versus the summons either. Like, these boars and the helm that's going to come out are going to be very problematic. I don't know if you can defend these towers unless you rotate the Pango. The issue is there's too many problems to cover. Like, this Timber's going to push you in mid. The Beast is going to push you in bottom. So I guess you can go top and trade through the Visage. That's probably your best bet here if you're Tundra. And, I mean, 33 is doing okay up here. You get that Drow kill. It's going to give him some extra XP. He was suffering in the one-on-one, but this should get him to a 6. Maybe the key is just trade. As a ward gets denied on mid by Quinn.
It's an awkward point. They want to play through the Visage, but they need to give him the soul experience to get the birds. So they're going to have this little window here where they stack on mid, get the 8-minute power rune. Hopefully that means the Visage will be level 6 soon and they can take that tower, because it is going to be Beastmaster taking their safe lane.
Yeah, Ace is just pulling back and getting this tower for free as Skeeter has abandoned that lane and is farming way deep by his tier 2. The slowest path towards the Midas here. This is the hardest road. But it's the one Skeeter must take.
That's going to help.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Little shovel. And the birds are up. So now it's time for Tundra to look for a trade in this game as Quinn is going to come up here to defend the tower. Pretty defensive move from him. Instead of just pushing mid, he's going to try and find the fight, I guess.
I mean, you kind of need to do this for Drow Ranger, right? Like, you gotta protect her territory. Much easier hero to gank than the Faceless Void.
Dyrachyo has decent levels, though. Normally when Drow has this kind of levels, he can just farm neutrals and go into the triangle at a certain point, especially if you have a little stack action going for them, which, of course, it is Gaimin Gladiators, so they have stacks. Why I'm even asking the question. This triangle is waiting for somebody to come and clear. at least Tundra getting some supports for AUI. This is pretty much necessary. There's no way around it. You have to prioritize the ult on this hero, or he does not exist. He will gobble up this XP solo as the tier 1 falls top, despite Quinn TPing up there, just not confident enough to sit in front, doesn't have that Vanguard yet. And it'll be the Midas for the Void that comes out slightly ahead of the Midas for the Drow Ranger, as Dyrachyo will match him. Which feels better here, the naked Midas or the treads into the later Midas?
I'm going to say Skeeter should be having the harder game, so I actually feel better about his Midas timing.
I agree. And if you ask an NA carry player, they'll tell you the same thing. That's just raw experience from those abandoned lane positions. Nine, think about rolling for this 10-minute rune. He doesn't even have to, he's just rewarded again. For suffering through that Timbersaw matchup, the game has decided to give him a haste on top of a shield rune. And he has some stacks of his own. So stack action on both sides. Wait, what was that number? Was that stacks? No.
Yeah.
Pango has 8 stacks.
Apparently. Total stacks, I think, is 12 to 8 to the favor of Tundra, which, once again, not surprising. Even though Gaimin Gladiators always does stacks, Tundra always does more than any other team. Oh, okay, there we go.
Wait, what was the other stat? Oh, runes.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's actually Gaimin Gladiators who have more stacks then. That's surprising to me.
I mean, they stacked the hell out of that triangle. But yeah, this one for 9 is not going to feel too bad. He kind of needed the recovery farm here, too, to push him towards this defusal, as that lane matchup is the rough one. 33, occupying a lot of space up top. So honestly, this early game didn't go too bad for Tundra, all things considered, right? They got the tier 1 tower trade. They kept their tier 1 mid alive. They recovered their Pangolier off the tough Timbersaw matchup, and they got their Ancient Apparition to level 6. He's going to throw it out here on Tofu, and he's just dead. Like that, stolen Impale into the blast. That's going to be a really nice spell for snaking if you can get it this whole game, because extra stuns in this lineup are just pure gas. Honestly, I feel like Tundra in a solid spot when you have like this Faceless Void as well, who got out of the Beastmaster matchup and is farming up a storm with this Midas.
Yeah, the way you say that, it just feels like you're cursing them.
I mean, what could go wrong here for Tundra in this game, too, that has been so smooth for them so far?
Yeah, after such a successful game 1 early game. Great combination. Great teamwork from the duo of Tundra. Staking in AUI, the NA duo here.
And some more stacking. This has been the MO in these European matchups for a while this year. And we're going back to the OG. Well, not OG, as they're not in this European matchup, but the OG stacking meta. Diffusal done. Didn't get the rune, but can't be too sad about anything, as AUI will deny it away here. And Gaimin kind of want to get something done. They have Finger up. You have your Tombstone ready to go. Vanguard done on the Timbersaw, level 10.5. As this hero always gets massively leveled.
Yeah, but if they overestimate themselves, they're trying to get something done, but they won't have their drill. They won't have their Beastmaster, who just needs to push the Helm of the Overlord timing, and they're going to be fighting into some timings on Tundra as well, with that, as you said, Diffusal Blade done, but also Visage is getting to a point. He's pretty tanky.
That's just really good map positioning by 33. The fact he pulled that wave to the big camp, so he farms his back, and the next wave comes in, dodges that gank.
Ice Blast coming in hot or cold. 9 bouncing around with the Rolling Thunder, should be able to finish him off with the Swashbuckle. He's not even able to get off the Primal Roar, which is important because 9 might have died to Quinn otherwise, but as it is, he's able to get away with the inhibitive Diffusal Blade, slowing down the Terror Blade. Now 33 pushes forward, and he's still going to get caught here. Tofu and Dyrachyo stuck around. Do throw out the Gust to be able to stop some of the Familiars here. They're breaking through him, but he gets the second round of Familiars. Now the turn, Dyrachyo, boom, boom, and a turnaround with the finger finishes him off in style, and a blast from 33. A fadeaway shot as he outplays the duo of Gaimin Gladiators.
Oh, that Visage is tanking. I mean, snaking. This man played at Arlington. He's got some NA blood. Turn those finger guns around. You know what I'm saying? That is a nice spell to steal. He'll get the charge for the future as well if he ever gets to steal it again. And overestimating the damage here. That Timber's not in the game. Gets your Drow Ranger. Sacrifices some birds to tank up the split shot. This turn is not as fast as I think it could have been. Like, there's no drum charge popped here. But Spark of Courage does work with the extra armor. That is ultimately what saves him. The +7 plus the Buckler. You live on 6 HP. See you later, son. Tundra getting a lot of little turnarounds this early game. It's looking like last game where honestly, I feel like they're playing damn well. And I think this was a harder early game to get through. Haven't even used Chrono yet.
Look how aggressive Tundra's farming right now.
I mean, this is nice, right? Getting into the gaming side. Also, this finger, lower level 1 cooldown now means you get 2 of them off during the spell steal, so Snaking's gonna have another opportunity to bust this out on somebody. This is a strong spell when you have a kill threshold on that AA ult as well. Burst damage is your friend.
Yeah, certainly.
Max Vortex here will mean AUI can continue.
He's going to use that gold to buy a Solar Crest. What other items would you get on this Ancient Apparition? I mean, you praised the Shard, but you can maybe get that off the Tormentor.
I mean, you definitely want the Shard. It's very good on him. Basically, anything that buffs up your cores in the fight, you're going to be happy with, because the second you throw out all your spells, you've pretty much done your job. Some positioning can sometimes be okay.
Yeah, I feel like a Force Staff wouldn't be bad against, like, Timbersaw and Undying. Like, there's a decent amount of, like, area control damage that...
Force Staff is definitely good this game. It's basically just all utility. This hero does not need anything outside of just whatever helps his team. His spells function on their own. I mean, you can go the Chad build.
No, don't even say it. I know what you're thinking.
You can go
Cold Feet, Telekinesis, pulled back, and with the Ice Blast landing and a stolen Chakram, Quinn cannot stand up to this damage from just the support duo, really. I mean, Skeeter was there, but he didn't do much. It was just AUI and Snaking who really did 90% of the work there.
I mean, these are 2 of the best supports to have against Timber in the game. Like, just flat out are going to shred him. And 33 just pushes a tier 1 solo while that's happening.
That's not supposed to happen.
And Gaimin are playing this very defensive, just relying on the fact this Helm of the Overlord from Ace is going to push them through what is becoming a deficit right now as Tundra invade their triangle with a blink on the Pango. They feel confident enough to start and take this fight.
He better not get caught in this situation, man. He's going to lose his boars, maybe lose his Helm of the Dominator creep. Yep, it dies.
It's a lot of gold here, a lot of space as well.
Radiant's top tower.
And they're going to just transition into another tier 1. Man, this Visage is really outpacing the Beastmaster. I think it's also a playstyle thing. I think Ace generally plays these heroes slower than 33 will. Prioritizes the ancient farming and just getting to his first item, and then you kick it up that notch.
Yep.
It's given a lot of room and a pretty decent head start to these cores. It's a Faceless Void lineup with an AA that's going to scale pretty hard if you can find the Drow.
That's the part that's scary for me. It's like you're buying time, but Skeeter's getting so big right now.
And this is a better hero than Ursa. I mean, I'm just going to say it. That last game, he struggled in the end game, getting nullified, losing basically his entire presence, getting stuck in pits.
What'd you call it in the green room? Was a patch loss?
Yeah.
As in, like, if this was a different patch, they would have won that game with the Ursa.
Yeah, if I think that's the Ursa from like 2 patches ago, I think you win that gig.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. I mean, there were a lot of other things that contributed. You know? I'm not saying that's 100%,
but given the fact how strong Morphling is versus how bad Ursa was, it did show itself in a lot of those fights.
I'm just more confident in the Faceless Void impact than the Ursa impact and the Ultralight. That's how I'll phrase it, right? It's hard for Chrono to go wrong.
Yeah, Chrono will kind of always be a good spell, unless you're Chronoing your allies.
It can happen to the best of us. As first Roshan will go Tundra's way. That feels really nice for this Vlad's build-up on 33 going into the AC. It's like that hybrid right-click Visage build. It's going to make him an independent threat.
It also means your Helm of the Overlord timing ain't shit. Dyrachyo, I think, is going to die with a swashbuckle to almost finish him off. The Chronosphere catching 4 as they jumped into it on the Lion. Oh no, Tofu!
Not what he wanted with that blink reveal, and they're just going to chase them all down here.
Wow, diving into the tier 3 like this, the confidence from Tundra. They bounce back. Oh, okay. Primal Roar catching him underneath the tier 3. 9 is still out. And now it's the Beastmaster who dies instead. Tundra.
Mega kill streak for AUI 2000 on a hero that no one else is willing to play. This game is just going amazingly smooth for Tundra. Gaimin not ready for the pace of these fights, man. They're bringing everybody to the engagements. This reminds me of that Liquid Gaming series from yesterday. One of the things Gaimin struggled with was what happens when they get outnumbered in these fights they're not ready for.
Yeah.
What happens when an enemy team brings their carry to the skirmishes. The
It's true.
fact that
They
Skeeter
were
showing up is very valuable right now.
I think they were the team who kind of set the meta of like Dyrachyo being aggressive and them outnumbering people, whether it was bringing both supports into the mid lane constantly and outnumbering you there, or bringing Dyrachyo to fight so your carry was active. But now it feels like teams are matching that.
That's just a misclick from Tofu, right? I mean, he knows it. You're going to mess it up. It's going to cost you an extra hero, maybe an extra 2 here. That fight I just don't think was going your way. The Visage is way too strong right now. Now, they did get the return kill on 9 on that mid lane with the finger that we're seeing on this minicam. That is the face of disappointment. But hey, you're going to bounce back. What can you do about it? Mistakes live in the past for a reason, Cap.
What reason is that?
Because you already made them.
Great quote, Avery. Honestly, you always surprise me with how much ancient wisdom you bring to these casts.
I think that was actually a pretty good quote. Oh, don't want to go through the gate, son.
What? You could go through the gate as a Hex unit. It didn't stop the channel.
Oh, Tofu.
Oh, he could have used the stun instead.
I feel like he's getting in his own head at this point a little bit, right? Unconventional mistakes from the man.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen Tofu make this many mistakes. I mean, that might have just been not a mistake. You just don't have the mechanics knowledge of how the gate
I mean, that's
works.
a weird one, yeah. Maybe you're not thinking about Hex not preventing him going through, but he still clicked on the gate. It wasted like a second. You don't get the impact. I don't know. Very awkward. Gaimin will have to bounce back again. They're not too far behind, however, as they continue to find farm. This team always does. Double damage. Skeeter wants to force it with the Aegis. He is looking terrifying right now.
The zombie trying to shamble. He tried to juke him on the time walk. He knew the time walk was coming up. He thought Skeeter would jump, and he was going to double back. But no, Skeeter, he out mind read the mind read.
So right now, Tundra are a lot stronger in the Stravon 5. Their supports are bringing up the majority of that net worth advantage. However, Gaimin have been splitting the map really well, abusing the Beastmaster vision. You look at the dire wards right now, they are pretty much perfection, right? Where are the Radiant Observers? I don't know where the hell they went, but they're not on the map right now. It's pretty difficult to catch. I guess you got one up here. You're going to see Dyrachyo. I mean, you can't really move to this, right?
Yeah, not right now anyway.
So the bleed is not building right now for Tundra, and that is what Gaimin will always do to you. They will make you beat them, even when you're ahead. I mean, this is brutal for the man.
Accident channel, then the Hex, but you can keep going through that.
That happens a lot, by the way. People blinking up this hill and right-clicking the portal.
Dude, the gate has a massive hitbox.
It is quite large. However, big items rolling into Tundra right now. BKB for the Faceless Void and Assault Kuros for 33 here. That damage just got a huge upgrade. Solar Crest on AUI as well. Man, the single target physical burst is going to be crazy. You get swashbuckled with the Diffusal Orb of Blightstone, and then you're just getting pummeled by the birds. AC and Vlads are boosting them up. These birds hit hard.
Yeah,
the tower's gone.
Yeah, it happens fast.
My God.
What's the timing for Gaimin Gladiators?
I thought it was this Helm of the Overlord, but they couldn't get the first Roshan with it, so now it pushes you farther back.
Yeah.
I think you kind of just have to play for the ultra late here with the Drow Ranger and the Timber eventually becoming a frontliner. It's difficult versus the Ancient Apparition, but it can happen. It's just got to be Dyrachyo, right? The Dyrachyo show has to show up again. However, he has not had as nearly as smooth a game as he did in the game 1, as he is 0-3 here.
Also, Drow Ranger is not the same kind of hero that Morphling is. It doesn't have the same ceiling at which, if you're operating at 100%, what you can do with this hero is much less.
In the team fights, yes. I will say the scale potential is pretty damn high.
I would agree with that.
Drow is one of the most terrifying late game heroes. I don't care what the matchup is. This hero almost outcarries anything, right? Even the illusion matchups like Naga PL, you outcarry him.
Yeah.
These melee heroes, you just kite them out. Some of these other range carries, you just beat them with the range. So something they can fall back on.
The stun. Nice stun. Big burst damage, not quite enough. He gets off the time walk, undoes the finger of death damage, and now they're going to be losing Ace as he's going to be left behind. Primal Roar going up, but they can easily finish him off. That Ice Blast is on him, is eventually going to take him out. Surely, a little bit more time. He actually runs the other direction, but he does shatter. They lose the line as well. Dyrachyo does manage to force staff himself down to low ground, away from the familiars that are pursuing.
Is this opportunity to go high ground if you're Tundra? I feel like they're so damn strong with the auras on 33, and you have a stolen level 2 Roar on Snake King with an Eye of the Vizier and Aether Lens. The cast range on this is crazy right now. Yeah, you push this. You got to remember, 33 got that glyph out of the bottom tier too. This tower's just gone.
Oh, look at that. Force that
Aggressive
forward
roar.
into the roar. Pull them back in. They don't have the
Stolen
ice blast,
whirling.
but the stolen whirling death will cut the Timbersaw down to size.
Damn, snaking. Making this show his own here as Tundra strike back hard in game 2, and this should be a Rax. I don't think you have nearly enough time to respond on the Timbersaw. You can commit a Timber buyback here, but I think the damage is already done. 24-minute full Raxing here from a Faceless Void lineup that didn't even have to use Chrono. Gaming are once again stuck searching for answers in this game 2, as it might just come down to some high ground hold with the Drow Ranger. I guess Glacier is your friend. I don't know if Glacier's ever your friend. It might be in this case.
I wonder how that high ground, how the hill, does the hill have any
It has the
walls
same
to
properties
it?
as a hill, yes. So I think...
So does it have a cliff on it, is what I'm asking.
Dire's middle tower
For the rolling Pango.
Oh, can he roll up the... I don't think he can roll up the hill. You're gonna bounce off it. It's a Glacier cap. Glaciers have mass.
Well, he would slide down.
Nine will catch the Undying. They're looking with the A blast behind. Will not hit though.
Doesn't. Dyrachyo managed to dodge that one. Quinn gets up to the high ground. Ace wants to hit the Primal Roar with the Drow Ranger on the high ground, but he's too far away, especially after the Force Staff.
And once again, the birds are just taking your base. Gaming do not have an answer right now for the aerial threat that 33 is. That's another tier 3 gone. He gets an instant resummon. Man, has his Visage pick put in work.
All of this without an Aegis.
Yeah, that's the thing. The tempo here is just way too fast for Gaming. They were not ready for how fast Tundra were going to be able to group up and take these fights. And I think it goes back to that early game. Prioritizing the levels on the supports has really given them the damage to deal with the Timbersaw, deal with the Beastmaster on the front line. Like, who wants to go in and tank spells right now from the Gaming side? Nobody. And they don't have a carry that can really go in and do it for them, which is usually what they fall back on. Somebody's just going to have to bite the bullet and maybe abuse a buyback to take a good base defense fight here, because these spells are coming out on Tundra. It's guaranteed. You have no way to prevent it. And the initiations from Tofu have not gone Gaming's way, as the burst has not been there. This is a scary situation, because you lose one team fight right now, your base is going to disappear. And Tundra are not leaving your side of the map. 33 has just continuously been running down these lanes. The birds
look at
will
him
go
go,
again.
man.
Your Rax is gone, man. In the course of a TP duration, you just lost a Rax.
What the hell? Dying's gonna go in. They're gonna try and burst down this Timbersaw with the Ice Blast coming in. The chain stuns cannot be stopped. They do not have the saves on these supports. Tofu has a Blink Dagger, but they don't have a Force Staff to get the Timbersaw out of the chain stun.
There's just no save right now in sight. You have Tombstone Shard. That's it. And Celery is just not close to these fights the way they're starting out from Tundra.
Yeah, he's trying to guard Dyrachyo.
I don't think we'll get a bird here. That is a resummon bird, at least for 20 seconds. Okay, they got the second bird. 33.
33 not shy
Too
about
far
giving those away.
Tundra just waiting for the next Roshan here. Now there is very good dire vision up top. This is something
could be really good.
Celery got out
Catching
earlier.
9 is so important here. They break through the Lincolns and catch him out. Beautiful pickup right as Roshan was about to spawn. 9 gives Gaimin Gladiators an opening.
I mean, that's not 9, man. That's Celery getting those obs out earlier. We were wondering where he was on that push.
True.
He wasn't there to save the fight, but he was here to find an opening. These wards are really nice right now, and the Hawks are going to boost up this Roach control, and it insta-spawns here. Do you man up for it? I think you have to, right?
I mean, if you're Gaimin Gladiators, yes. I think a bigger question is whether or not Tundra are going to contest it 4 versus 5 with their Chronosphere.
It's so tempting here, but you're going to go through Hawk Vision, so you need to smoke this up. You need to get Skeeter in there. You need to scout it out. A Blast will do the job.
Ice Blast coming in. It's going to land onto Dyrachyo, but they're not immediately there. The Chronosphere catches 3. Skeeter pops the BKB commit. Dyrachyo's already dead. Now he starts leading into Ace, who does not have the roar. He used it earlier on the Pango kill. No way to protect himself. Skeeter cleans up the first 2, leaves his team to kite around Celery and Quinn. Quinn going to chase after AEY, but going after a support like this cannot be feeling so good. They blast him down and will eventually get this kill, but now Skeeter is free to be able to play with the time dilation onto Quinn, slowing him down. He's going to be be gone. Slowed down on Celery as well, thanks to snaking, throwing some nukes out. That's going to be godlike for Skeeter. They contest the Roshan. They'll wipe out Gaimin Gladiators. This is a free Rosh, and another time where Tundra can push the high ground.
Very heads-up ult by AUI just to give him vision, and it's just enough that Skeeter gets in there at the right angle to catch the Drow on the clip of that Chronosphere, deletes him in a couple hits. Of course, the Undying was also stuck in there, so you can't save him and pop him out of this. Just a sick Chrono by Skeeter. Cannot ask for better. If he escapes there, we might be looking at a different fight, but of course, time dilation on 4 as well. Just demolishes Quinn's impact here. He's stuck in a vortex of cold feet and a time dilation.
Yeah.
This Timbersaw can't move. And then they have to commit everything onto AUI at the end. He's still living through it. This man has a Greaves plus a Solar. He's so damn tanky.
He's huge. Ogre's Seal Totem for him as well.
The burst situations are not in your favor right now if you're gaming, and the long fights don't even look favorable as well with all these time dilations and vortexes. I like the Lincoln's pickup from 9 too, just preventing the initial jump from this Lion. Just a Lincoln's on him, a Lincoln's on Skeeter. The defensive capabilities fully there for Tundra, making these jumps nearly impossible. And now you have a Cheese and Aegis to let you force the high ground again.
Oh, it's quite nice actually.
Are scared.
33, debating what he wants next in this game. He's got 4,500 gold, and it will be a full Aghanim Scepter getting bought out from the Visage here. Even more damage, more ways to go and give the vision for the Chronosphere to come out from Skeeter. If you land a Chronosphere on the Drow, I think the fight's over, and that is why the Blink gets picked up here. Yeah, you may have killed these birds a bit, but I think the birds have done way more damage in return.
This I can't wait till 33 uses his Aghanim Scepter, and then just he pops out of the invisibility to hit the buildings.
It is gonna evaporate here.
That is the really nice part. This Faceless Void lineup has a hero that can siege buildings for him. So he doesn't have to be the one, he doesn't have to touch a building in this game. He could just sit back, bide his time, wait to counter-initiate with the Chronosphere.
That's the same things in the fights. There's a lot of vision mechanisms for Tundra, and the Visage is very happy to frontline in this game. Whereas the Timber and Beast don't want to go in versus the Rubik and AA. This Visage is happy to go in and kind of take some of the brunt, or at least see some spells. If he gets gone on, who cares, right? You're going to get an amazing Chrono. At some point, Dyrachyo has to show to start outputting damage. That's the other big factor here, because of how much the time dilation is screwing with the Timber, and that means he's susceptible to getting turned around by the Faceless Void. That is, if he gets the Blink out of the Chrono, that is what almost determines the fight here for gaming. That's how I'm perceiving it. Like, you need this Blink clutch play by Dyrachyo at this point.
Gaimin Gladiators, they were clutch in game 1. Dyrachyo is going to have to be clutch again. Silver Edge and Blink Dagger. Lots of mobility for him to set up in the right way. But is it even possible for him to fight through this much net worth and an extra life on both the Visage and the Faceless Void?
See who starts this fight out for Tundra. Do they want to let the Faceless Void walk up and siege? They're going to let the birds do it as well.
Blink Dagger for the Timbersaw.
Remember, there's a cheese on this Visage, so if you don't burst him, he just turns all that around against you.
Yeah.
Tundra will play it safe for now.
Like look at 33. He wants to make the call. He wants to catch them perhaps somewhere in this top lane. He was thinking about to take it down some of the buildings.
He was looking for Dyrachyo if Dyrachyo wanted to leave the base. The second they see him mid, okay, back to bottom. No need to cut that top. He also has a gem on this Visage. We'll see it all here. They're just gonna force it.
Gonna be the blink away from Quinn. Great reaction by him. Primal Roar doesn't go off, so 9 stays alive. But he does create the space for 33 to bring down the. Oh, there's the Chronosphere. The save the Drow Ranger. They have the same inside of the Tombstone. The blast gonna come through. It doesn't hit Dyrachyo. He pops back out and it blinks away. But Skeeter chases after him. No, he time walks backwards. Ace gonna be pulled back in with the cold feet. The Gaimin Gladiators are dodging as much as they can, but they're just running out of steam here.
Dyrachyo kiting successfully for now. Can he come back into this fight and get anything done, though? You're just going throne. Your megas are already up here as the birds are just clearing through the objectives.
Yeah, you can dance away, you can survive as much as you want, but if you retreat forever, then Tundra will take your entire
Your
base.
force gone. Your throne is disappearing right now. You have to start killing heroes. You have to start killing birds.
They try punching back, but they're going straight for the throne. Wait, faces void. Dyrachyo, he's not sure which one he wants to go for here. Time walk away. Skeeter is going to be able to help finish it off. GG.
And that's why I always loved him as a player, because of all small things that he does, all of these small items that he can buy on the heroes.